Hi, I'm Robin Bensley. Welcome to Chow Time. Every week I bring you one of my recipes. And you know why? Because when I grew up, my mother did not like to cook. So I have been creating interesting dishes my entire life. Well, now you've heard of French onion soup. It's delicious. You know, the sweet onions cooked in butter and the beef broth and the melted cheese on top. But I have something better. Now, I've always enjoyed French onion soup, but I've always thought it was missing something too, and so I have made it Italian. But we're going to start off with the classic French onion soup. I have 4 decent-sized onions. These are good quality onions. These are sweet onions, like the Walla Wallas or the Vidalias. Any kind of sweet onion works great in French onion soup, Italian French onion soup. I'm going to coarsely chop them. Okay, and I'm going to take this over to the stove where I have browned about 4 tablespoons of butter. When I make French onion soup, I like to brown the butter a little bit first because I think that adds an extra deepness of flavor. And so we're going to want to cook these onions until they're perfect, until they're tender and golden, but not really browned. So you want to keep an eye on them, and you want to keep stirring them. And isn't it amazing how people can walk in the house and say, "What are you making?" And the only thing you're doing is frying onions in butter. One of the greatest smells of all times in the kitchen. Now, while these are cooking at a medium heat, I am going to go make some meatballs. We're going to add little tiny meatballs. I have 1 pound of very lean ground sirloin. I'm going to add an egg. Two teaspoons of oregano, a little salt, and a little pepper. Mix it with your hands. Then I'm going to roll little marble-sized meatballs. Now, in the time it took me to roll those little meatballs, the onions are just about there. And see, they're very tender. You can just tell by the smell. It smells so sweet, but it's very tender, but they're not browned, which you don't want crispy onions in this soup. But see how tender they are? So now we're going to kind of put it all together. I'm going to add 64 ounces of beef stock, which is 2 of these cartons. And then, to make it a little more Italian, I'm adding 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. We're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to add our meatballs. And we're going to let this cook for about 15 minutes. And here is how you serve it. Take a nice scoop. Of those onions and meatballs. And while it is piping hot, you top it with finely shredded mozzarella cheese. French onion soup. Now that's Italian.